Hello, welcome. It is your girl Donna, and I'm back again with another video. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to go live and do this video for a long time. This video topic is something that I've been studying for the last few weeks, and I'm very excited to just kind of go over my research with you all and yeah, tap into another high level conversation. And yeah, so if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Danae. I post content here all around holistic health, spiritually and physically healing the body, the mind, body, and soul. And the different healing modalities that I use. I discuss all that stuff here on this channel. I also discuss or show traveling vlogs as well. Just a small announcement, if you guys love to travel or wanted to ever travel to the motherland, I am hosting a tour June 2023. Okay, it's gonna be from June 5th through the 15th here in Ghana. And so I will be hosting an Ancestral Life Path tour with Empress Love and Company. And we will be visiting so many attractions that will just kind of help you discover your ancestral roots. So you can, learn more about your lineage as well as the powers that you possess, right? It's just a spiritual connection that you'll find traveling to the motherland. So if you are interested or you've ever wanted to travel to Ghana, please look at that information. It's in the description box below. But let's go ahead and get started. So womb healing, womb trauma, birth. It's so much that ties into womb healing itself or the industry of womb healing. I want to just start on a basic level. And so when I discuss womb healing, I'm more so discussing the spiritual aspect of womb healing because, I read the spiritual, energetic side of things. And we also know that a lot of sickness is actually created from spiritual sickness first. But yeah, before we even get started, let's learn what a womb is, okay? A womb is an energetic plane in your body. It is the energetic space that carries your reproductive organs. Okay, so women, we have a spiritual and a physical womb, and men have a spiritual and physical womb. Okay, although we have the ability to actually carry another life, a body, a physical body, in our wombs as women. So, when we talk about wombs, we need to know that, yeah, a man can have a womb as well. And so that is just kind of like the physical idea of it. But then if you kind of look at the metaphysical side of things, although we still have a womb, we have a womb energetically, right, that carries a chakra in the midst of that. It is called the sacral chakra. It is one of these seven well known chakras that can really change your life. I mean, your womb is so important. That sacral chakra energy is really important because it is the energetic field that actually pushes through manifestations. So, if you can only imagine, if you are in a place of sickness and you store a lot of your trauma in your womb, just imagine how difficult it can be for you to manifest things into your life, right? Um, Especially if you are a woman who suffers from a lot of hormonal situations such as PCOS, endometrius, cramps, things like that are all really good indicators and signs that you may have some womb trauma that you're dealing with. Um, but yeah, before we even go deep down into womb trauma and how to heal womb trauma, I just want to kind of touch bases on what a womb is, right? So we know that physically the womb is something that men and women do have, and it is what carries the reproductive organs for that specific human being. Now, the woman, the gender is different, right? Between the two genders, you have women which have an actual physical womb that can carry a baby. Meanwhile, the men don't have that, but they still technically have a womb that holds their sacral energy. Um, so, now that we've established what is the womb, how does one start to deal with the fact that they may have to uncover womb trauma, or may have to heal from womb trauma? So, womb trauma is the sickness or the pain that occurs in the womb due to emotional sicknesses, spiritual sicknesses. I'll start with one of the most prevalent, okay, one of the most known ways of having womb trauma is through epigenetics. It's very much genetic. And so, the way that you may want to look at this is that as a woman, we carry all of our eggs, right? And those are the same eggs that are passed down to our children. So when we think about the environment that we're breeding our unborn child in, right, for 9 months, what does that environment look like? What type of DNA activations is your unborn baby receiving during your pregnancy? What is still stored in your DNA from the past? And so you'll start to see that maybe your mother, or your grandmother, or anywhere down the ancestral lineage, if you are doing that ancestral work, you'll start to kind of recognize that there has been trauma stored in your womb based off of contracts that maybe your parents did, or yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you manifested in this lifetime. Of course it can be, right? So we're talking right now simply on just the epigenetics of our parents and the generations that came before us. So if I want to look down my ancestral lineage and look at all the trauma that the women in my bloodline have been through since slavery, I can definitely say that there is a level of trauma that I've had to deal with in my life due to the history of my DNA and the bloodline of my ancestors, because a lot of their trauma is definitely still being stored in my womb. Now, if you want to look at any type of womb trauma that you may have developed on your own in your own lifetime, you can look at rape as one of those, molestation, just the ability for anybody to have, you know, contributed to that sickness for you. That can breed up so many different blockages in your womb after experiencing things like abortion and all of that trauma on the womb. Not even just the physical trauma of the abortion, but or the physical trauma of as an STD, But even the spiritual aspect of that trauma as well, thinking about yeast overgrowth and bacterial vaginosis, like all of these things, like I said, are spiritual sicknesses as well. So, yeah, womb healing, womb trauma definitely can tie in and be a result of a few different aspects. And so when we talk about womb healing, it's best that we understand that we need to constantly be working on healing our wombs, clearing out those blockages, right? Not only do we have to do it from a genetic standpoint, right, by doing your ancestral veneration, healing that bloodline, speaking with your ancestors about the traumatic events that they possibly have went through and how that could be reliving through you in this time frame. It's going through that shadow work and addressing those very difficult conversations and doing that work to really kind of unveil the truth and, set up a plan of healing. And so we're talking about that on the epigenetic, right? But then let's talk about from actual, maybe the physical trauma that you've been through, right? If you've had abortions or anything like that, there's ways to produce healing in that sense as well. One of those ways is through Yoni steaming. I actually sell Yoni steams on my website because the importance of Yoni steaming is just, it's like, why would you not do it as a woman if you've experienced candida overgrowth, or if you've experienced abortion and rape, or just you're trying to release the energy of an old partner and his semen and his spiritual attachments, right? With the Yoni steams, it's a beautiful thing because we know that these herbs that are mixed in for these Yoni steams carry magical properties, carry spiritual properties, healing properties that, along with the steaming, can release sicknesses from that womb space so that you are able to manifest at a rapid rate. You're able to, yeah, pretty much see these manifestations through. I mean, that's the whole purpose, And if our womb is unhealthy and our womb is tense and our womb is traumatized, just, imagine how hard it can be for things to manifest for you. Another great resource is The Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. I talk a lot about her book on this channel when we did the 21-day fast and things like that. She has a womb healing tea that I drink every rising. And I say a prayer over it and I enchant my tea and I speak with my womb and I talk to my womb. I ask my womb about the trauma that it's experienced in the past. I ask my womb about the trauma and how I can heal her from the things that I've done in today's day and age, So, yes, womb healing, right, can be done through ways of Yoni steaming, meditation and prayer, listening to certain frequencies, all promote really good ways for you to, do womb healing. I'm also seeing, what else am I missing? So yeah, there's a lot that goes into this industry, like I said, and then you want to talk about actual women having babies and creating an environment in that womb space for that baby to thrive in. You wonder why people take it extremely serious, why they say that women should not be stressed, things of that nature. It's because this unborn baby is receiving everything that it needs to survive in this lifetime, in those 9 months. And if that womb environment is sick, that womb environment environment is dark and scary, then that's unfortunate for that child, right? And that child may have to deal with a level of trauma that they shouldn't be responsible for. So it's very important. And as a woman, you hold a responsibility to maintain the health, the spiritual health of your womb and the physical health of your womb. And so we talk about why it's not important to, why it's important not to just allow random attachments to drop off their semens and their energetic energies into you that way, because it's very dangerous. If this is not your husband, this is not your life partner, your spouse, it's very difficult to remove those energies. Once again, you talking about women who are just out here having babies by different men, not even realizing that their womb is sick as well as a man. They storing trauma in their womb from abuse and not having maybe a proper mother figure in their lives. Like, these men store that trauma as well. And so you put your trauma and the other person's trauma. Now this poor baby does not have a real chance to live a trauma-free life. So it's just so important to constantly be working on womb healing. Another way you can promote womb healing is through movement. A lot of yoga promotes womb healing. A lot of different yoga positions. The child's pose is one of my favorite poses to release stored trauma that's been in the womb. And so I am not a yogi by any means necessary, but I can respect the craft of yoga and see how, and I've experienced the benefits of how it's been able to relieve me of tension that's been built up in my womb. With that, you kind of know when you're suffering from womb trauma, because you'll have just anxiety around your healing. You may be someone that feels abandoned a lot. You may also feel like anxiety, not feeling worthy. Those are all like emotional, I would say, triggers for if you are suffering from womb trauma. But that is just the gist of it. I didn't want to go too deep into it because I'm definitely still learning, but it's so much that goes into it. You want to start tapping into the different avenues of womb healing and womb discovery. It's really amazing. But yes, if you would like to check out more information around womb healing, I'll put my blog, recent blog posts, in the description box below. And also, if you would like to purchase a Yoni Steam, I will also put that in the link in the description box. But yeah, that's pretty much my video for today. I just kind of wanted to do an intro level of womb healing and what that looks like. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe if you feel the vibe. And